fucking awesome.
That was great shit.
I think my
job,
favorite
Max.
thing is Fringy Hulk. I think that's my favorite thing. It's
Yeah.
just like, oh man, I was really happy that we were able to get that out so soon. But how are you doing today, Matt?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing, sir?
Can't complain. You know, I'm just another. I guess I can't say another week, another bye week, and more stuff to talk about. You know, it's always fun.
Yes.
But you know, and we're going to be just going as a duo. This obviously we have guests, but just a duo on the today.
Yes,
But
Bobby is stuck in work hell right now, unfortunately.
how
So
dare that bastard?
I know.
But we have. Don't worry, we have 3 guests this week. And the first one I want to introduce, hey, he was actually the person who put together that intro for us, and I've appeared on one of his videos. That was kind of how I realized he was the guy to ask about this. And supposedly this, I mean, despite the fact that his channel is growing pretty quickly and his work is fantastic, he's supposedly a rookie at this, and this is his first show, and that's the Max of Zorro.
Hello there.
What's up,
How are
Matt?
you doing?
What's going on, fellas? Thanks for having me.
I like how you're like in some sort of Jewish bat cave or something. I can't really tell exactly what's going on there.
It's the Zorro cave from Mask of Zorro.
Is it? I'm not really a big Zorro guy. I'm sorry. It's just not really my thing.
Yeah, that's the Anthony Hopkins used his whip to extinguish the flames on the candle. That's what's in the background there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think
not a
think
menorah,
I do.
sadly.
I think I do sort of remember that. I've been getting spam calls out the ass all day. Holy shit, that's like the 5th one in a row. So if you heard my phone buzzing, it was not a vibrator. It was definitely a bomb in the. But it's good to have you on, man. Thank you for making that intro. And anybody who gets a chance to go check out his stuff, where I was in one of his I was in his funeral for Boba Fett video. That's where some of the best editing I've ever seen. So.
Oh, thank you, man. That was a fun one to make, and your part was absolutely fantastic.
I tried. I was like, you know, I know a lot of people do like cameos and videos, and they're just like they kind of phone it in. And I was like, no, I got to go like all out with this one. And
yeah, no, you crushed it.
And so for our second guest, this guy, I didn't really know him until recently. I kind of reached out to him on the Facebook of all things, you know, that old school, because anybody knows me knows that my Twitter feed, my original Twitter account got bombed by, you know, the Twitter bots to say that I wasn't allowed to use it anymore. So I've had to revert back to some older social medias to reach out to people. And this guy was kind enough to, you know, come on the show and like, you know, help promote it, and that's Movie Blues.
What's going on, guys?
It's going, man. Good to have you here.
This is my Jewish bat cave insofar as I am Jewish, and this is the room I'm in, so it automatically becomes the Jewish bat.
The Jewish bat. I hope that becomes a thing. The Jewish bat cave.
But yeah, I'm very excited to see you guys, and I'm so excited someone reached out to me in my isolation island on Boomer Facebook. So this is a beautiful thing.
I was forced to go back to other ways of reaching people because Twitter decided I'm a bot for some reason. Their bots decided I'm a bot. So
well, you found another 38-year-old man. So here I am.
Hey, I'm 37. Just don't prematurely age. That's 6 months.
Midnight tonight is my birthday. So
what a way to celebrate it.
All right.
And that being said, I do have a surprise, a gift for the people who have watched my channel for a long time. You know, some of you, he pops in and out. This guy, he's been on the channel a couple of times. You know, he's probably my favorite person to stream with of all time. Does anybody have any guesses out there? Let's see if anybody can guess this one. I'm just going to give it a minute. Meanwhile, we'll ask Dan more about his Jewish bat cave while people guess. I'm not going to leave you guys in too much suspense. It is my brother from another African mother. That is the uninspired reviewer.
Well, hello.
Hello there, sir.
Oh, man. Well, it's great to be back.
Dude, when you asked me, it was funny the other day. he asked me, he was like, "Hey, do you have any room?" I was like, "You can come on whenever you want." You don't even.
I was like, yeah, dude. When's the next time you're streaming? Can I be on? He's like, why are you asking?
Oop, we lost your audio there for like 2 seconds. What'd you say?
Oh, can you hear me? Am I back?
Yeah, it just dipped for a second there. It was weird.
Oh, okay, I was saying I was saying that I asked you if I could be on, and you just said, "Why are you asking?"
Yeah, like why the hell are you asking me this question? Like we should you just allowed. Oh, we have a super chat already. Let's apparently from Review Bomb. Looks like is that what that? Oh yeah,
Yes,
Review Bomb 85.
this guy's got a great channel as well, and we've done some videos together, and he has followed me to embarrass me maximum. So thank you, Adam.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'll have to reach out to him as well then. But yeah, apparently you're a bum and he owes you $5. Well, he gave me
All right.
2, so you owe him 7.
All right, I'm the top earner so far of this stream, so just keep that in mind. I'm 2 in, boys.
Oh yeah, but so I guess we might as well get it going. But as I like to start by saying hello, chat. We see you.
Hi,
And we're going to get going. We're going to try to entertain you for an hour and a half, 2 hours here, see what we can come up with. So I guess at first, as my face blows up here, I think we got to start with the big topic. Unfortunately, it's, and that is this bad boy right here. Let's see if I can, I wish that it would put it in the right spot automatically, but yeah. So, over the last couple weeks, there's been, a lot of news about Netflix buying out WB, but as in the last like 24 to 48 hours, there was a hostile counter bid made by Paramount. And Trump is involved somehow. I don't really understand what's going on with that. He's just like, I'm going to be there to make sure it happens. Also, there's the Directors Guild of America not particularly happy about this happening. Christopher Nolan specifically.
Sorry. It's President Christopher Nolan. All right.
President Christopher Nolan. Yes, President Trump of the United States and President Christopher Nolan of the Guild of American Directors are. So basically, we have a political standoff going on. But they're basically everybody is mad whether it comes from all the way down from all the way up from the government to clearly the directors all the way down to us the consumers, whether it be people like us who do these streams and videos, or even just general people are pretty pissed off about this. And I think it's for a good reason, because we're on the verge of seeing basically a monopoly of movie making and television and this stuff. And this is probably the biggest. I mean, we've kind of been seeing it with Disney for a while, but they were very slow about it. And now it's just ramped up. It's like an arms race.
Well, I think it's not really because of the way that Disney was acquiring. I think it's the fact of how big the companies are now, which is the issue, is because there were more companies before, but then each company kept swallowing each other. And now we've left with, 5 or 6 major companies. So when one of those major companies swallows another major company, it gives the illusion of, oh man, there's this huge monopoly, which I think is why also the government is involved, because I think the streaming side of Netflix and HBO Max combined would be a 43% shareholder value, which is just way too much.
Yeah,
way too much.
It's weird because if you think about it, at one point Netflix had a 100% monopoly on the streaming side. For the most part, it was just them that was doing it.
Oh, yep.
So it's almost like they're trying to like get it back. They're trying to be like, no, we want that back. And this would essentially, either way though, it's even if Paramount is the one that wins, then you have 2 major film studios that also have streaming services merging. So it's like
the problem is more that so Netflix wants to buy mostly just the streaming portion and the film IP and all that stuff portion. Paramount just wants to buy out the entirety of WB.
Yeah, they want to do a full hostile takeover. They want to just take everything. Whereas,
actually, now they want to do a hostile takeover to block Netflix, of course. But I mean, initially when this all started was back in September. Paramount had come out and said that they wanted to buy WB. And so WB had initially was going to do the deal specifically only with Paramount, but they weren't happy with the amount that Paramount was giving. So Paramount was basically trying to buy out $23 per share, whereas WB said that they were valuing themselves at $30 plus per share. And so since there was that divide at the beginning, they said, all right, Paramount, we've been discussing for about a month and a half at this point. You're not giving us what we want, and so we're going to be open to everyone. And then that's when you had Netflix and Comcast pop onto the bidding war.
Yeah. One of the things that actually hasn't, it's funny because as I was reading it, one of the things that was not part of this entirety, like this whole thing, was they didn't really seem to even, no one seems to care about the games division. That was something that was funny. It's just an added bonus for them. But
WB Games is dead anyways.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Well, they still have the IPs that you might be like the Batman IP and
but they've killed the Batman IP. The other DC stuff, they were working on the Wonder Woman game and all of that stuff, but that got canceled already. You know, even before this merger was a thing. So it's like the WB game side is really, really deep in the water.
Yeah. So let's get everybody else involved that way.
Well, I mean, aside from the monopoly aspect of everything, I think that the bigger implications are that I think what everyone's afraid of for the most part is just if Netflix acquires Warner Brothers and they start doing, Warner Brothers productions, that just means the quality is going to drop drastically. I mean, that's the biggest problem with all this shit going streaming is like, streaming sucks, and Netflix, like, there's just that stereotype about streaming now where it's like a character walks into a room and like explains who they are because it's content made to be content and it's made to be on in the background while you're doom scrolling or just doing shit around your house or whatever. So I just think that the implications are that, like, well, there goes movies. Now we're going to have content from now on,
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, there's some things that are, for instance, I finally watched, what was it? K-pop Demon Hunters. That was, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. That was a Netflix thing. And then you had, Last Samurai Standing, but these are also one of the things that is, a consistent, it seems like the foreign market stuff that Netflix has is significantly better than the domestic market.
Sure. And I think that, like, yeah, there's, hashtag not all, of course, but I do think that that's just kind of where we're heading. And I think this is just one more step heading in that direction. And I also think that Netflix acquiring Warner Brothers, that's also going to be a big hit to the physical media market. If you're into physical media, that's going to really, because Netflix, their whole goal is basically to get rid of people going to movie theaters altogether.
Which is weird because they bought like 4 or 5 theaters in like major cities. So it's like, why would you buy those if you want people to not go?
Yeah, well, I mean, to me, it's just like they still know that, like, if you can,
it's a novelty.
It's exactly right. So they're just using it almost for advertisement purposes. But
yeah, they do from time to time they do release physical media. It's just not particularly.
They do, but like, yeah, it's not that often. I mean, they released the first 2 seasons of Stranger Things on Blu-ray and 4K, and that was like a Target exclusive, and it was only the first 2 seasons. So they're very selective as to what they release. Same thing with like Apple Studios. Like, they released F1 on 4K Blu-ray, but they don't really have a catalog on there.
We have a super chat that is a request for Max to read the Gordon Gekko speech, which is right there. So,
yeah. All right. Well, the point is, ladies and gentlemen, that greed, for lack of a better word, is good. Greed is right. Greed works.
It feels timely with all the merger news.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are you like the resident Michael Douglas impersonator?
Apparently so. I was not aware of that. But
I mean, I could barely tell the difference. I thought that was Michael Douglas for a second right there.
I'm Michael.
Is it Michael Douglas or gay actor Michael Douglas?
Gay actor Michael Douglas.
Well, I mean that. I guess we'll use that as a transition for Max, for you to give your opinions on the whole like ordeal.
Oh, where's the noose? Basically, my whole thoughts on this is it doesn't have to mean bad things, but we all know it's going to mean bad things.
Yep.
I feel like making a funeral video for the Penguin, making a funeral video for all of the other things that are probably going to get canned now that HBO is under Netflix or Paramount. Just seems like every time there's a merger like this, like Fox and Disney, distinct voices get lost, right? You get distinct, there's a distinct identity that comes with HBO shows. There's a distinct identity that comes with Netflix shows. And you can like that or you can dislike that, but they are previously two separate voices. In a lot of the same ways that Marvel and Fox superhero movies had very distinct voices, and now you look at Deadpool and Wolverine and it's just Marvel sludge. You might not have liked the Fox Marvel X-Men cinematic universe, but it was distinctly its own thing.
Yep.
And now it's all Marvel sludge, and now everything coming out of HBO Max is going to be Netflix sludge. It's depressing, and I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
We can, after we all give our opinions, we can kind of go through, like, because I didn't actually list them, but we could actually go through the WB catalog and the HBO catalog real quick and see like what we think might survive, what they might be interested in keeping. But I don't want to leave Movie Blues Dan out on an island, like he said. He's in his Jewish man cave, Jewish bat cave, so don't want to leave him out there.
So yeah, I mean, obviously, a bunch of like grown poor people talking about large corporations is very dystopian. And it's hard to figure out who to side with anymore. It used to seem like more cut and dry about like who was the evil corporation and who wasn't, especially when it comes to like Disney. It's really easy to just like identify who the evil corporation is. But when it's between like Paramount and Netflix, I honestly, like what you were saying before, there is like a foreign division element, and there is like a part of Netflix, like whatever subsection allows people like Guillermo del Toro to just like make his magnum opus with as much money as he wants. There are some parts to the Netflix equation that I think have benefited the world in general. I think that not enough people talk about how awful Paramount Plus is and was.
Oh, it is a horrible.
So
and like I feel like most of the ire of the internet is usually split between like Netflix and Disney in terms of like large corporate complaints. But I'm here to raise the banners on just hating Paramount Plus so much. Like when you're talking about the games division, I really don't want the people that made the Halo TV show to be in charge of a video game. I feel like that's the worst kind of reverse engineering imaginable. And I used to trust Paramount as like a brand when you would see it, before the beginning of a movie, before like the Star Trek movies from the 90s. It was like, okay, like there's a good movie somewhere to be had here. Now I see it and it's like the scarlet letter. It's like the mark of the plague when I see it.
It's funny because that's all of them now. I feel like that's almost every major studio. You see Paramount, you see Disney, Fox. For when it was still alive, it was starting to get to the point where you were like, that was like, and each one of them is bad for their own reason. It's like Fox was like the phone it in one. Like you were like, oh, it's just going to be one of 12 actors and they're just going to phone in the performance. Paramount is just it seems like they refuse to put any money into anything except for this bid. But even that was, they tried to not do it. Like their like you said, their service has got to be it's got to be the most god awful streaming service I've ever used. It constantly freezes, kicks you out, and it sucks because they probably content wise have the most stuff I'm interested in. They have and I'm not just necessarily talking about new stuff, like their legacy stuff. Also, I like because they have a lot of the stuff I watched when I was a kid. But even so, a lot of the stuff, because they had the Taylor Sheridan stuff for a while, which was holding them up. And it just everything seems to have just they do not want to. They have good stuff that they don't even want you to be able to watch, basically.
Yeah, Dan, were you referring to like the app itself or the content that they produce?
So both, really. I mean, the actual physical app stinks, and I
It's
canceled
horrible.
it many moons ago. But no, the content itself is what really kind of destroys me. It's something that we'll probably get into a little later in the stream.
Yeah.
But like their ownership over Star Trek is something that has like
Oh
burnt my
God.
soul.
Don't worry, I
That
have that. That was a special
Yeah.
request by. I think that might be why I don't mind it as much, because I wasn't a Star Trek person. I wasn't a Trekkie, so I'm not super upset about that. But I can
Yeah.
understand why people would be. I can 100% understand why people would be. But it's
Yeah, I mean,
what
I
was it? Oh, go ahead.
can understand a lot of their decision making, their content, and what they choose to do. Paramount is like, let's think of the absolute worst idea you could ever think of, and that
I
is your
read
new show.
I read a
So
tweet from Sean Strickland, the UFC fighter, earlier, and he was like, "That's it. I'm canceling Netflix. Every show that they have starts out normal, and then it turns into gay porn."
Yeah, that's a pretty accurate way of describing it. No, I
I
mean,
feel
like,
like Paramount all starts as gay porn and just stays that way. There's not even a grace period.
Honestly, it's amazing. You have almost every one of the streaming services now. Like I said, all of the studios have like their telltale sign. Disney is just full of girl bosses. Is a great is their go to thing, and everybody has Netflix. Everything becomes gay porn, like Strickland said, and then all of the apps have their telltale issue. Paramount just flat out won't run half the time. Netflix, for what it's worth, is probably the best one, but they're also the one that's what
I
they're doing.
hate Amazon's app, man.
Amazon's
Oh,
problem
God.
is that they put
yeah, it
stuff
sucks.
on there that they don't have.
Exactly.
So it's like,
So you're
It's also
constantly
ads
lost.
for
You're
things
like,
that you have to
oh,
buy.
say again.
I was saying it's just ads for things that you have to buy. It's unbelievable.
yeah, it's crazy.
What was the HBO? Honestly, the HBO one is surprising because that one's pretty good.
I feel like the HBO has the best back catalog in terms of like.
Well, yeah, I
old
mean, anything
shit.
that has Sopranos on it automatically becomes like the best back catalog.
Yeah,
having
yeah,
that on
that's
there
fair.
alone. What was the one that I had one in there that I wanted to say? Oh, the Disney Plus has by far the worst interface. It's trying to find specific things on Disney Plus. Like I've searched out movies and they're like, it's not on here. And I'm like, I've typed it out exactly the way. And then you start to erase the words and then it finds it. I'm like, I was like, it was Cars. There was 4 letters in the title. How could you not find that?
Well, and ever since they merged with Hulu and ESPN, it's now even worse to try and find things on it.
Well, they've always had ESPN. ESPN's been under their banner for long before streaming came out. But Hulu was already half or a third theirs when it was made. That was a joint venture between ABC, CBS, and NBC when it first started, I believe, or maybe it was Fox. It was like a joint venture between 3 or 4 of them to try and counter Netflix, and then essentially Disney ended up buying out the companies, like enough companies now they have almost the entirety. They have a monopoly on Hulu, but they don't really need it anymore because they have their own service.
Yeah, I just meant the app interface because they've merged all of them into one app. So now Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN are all in the same app, and it's an absolute nightmare to navigate.
Oh yeah, it's Hulu. I don't even know why they still have it. Just get rid of it. I understand separating ESPN, but like when Disney Plus first came out, it was a lot better set up. If you remember, it would start up and they had like the 5. It was like classics, National Geographic, Star Wars, Marvel, and I forget what the last one. I think it was Pixar was the last one, and it made it a lot easier to navigate. Now it's all just a blob. Everything is just together, and it's almost and half the time they don't even update the stuff you've been watching, so you can't even continue it. It's just a garbage. Honestly, they're all garbage. I'm sure we're missing one, but
So like gun to your head, basically, if Christopher Nolan climbed out of the water tower he lives in on the WB lot and asked you who is going to buy this corporation, who are you going to side with, Netflix or Paramount?
Who do I think's gonna win, or who would I
who do you
prefer
want?
buy
Yeah.
out?
Prefer.
So
Paramount.
I would say
honestly.
Paramount. Yeah.
Paramount, yeah. And my reasoning. Does anyone else want to go first? With their
No, go
reasoning?
ahead.
Okay.
Is everybody Paramount?
I think everybody said Paramount, right?
I want
Yeah.
to die if that counts for anything.
And
What?
Yeah, at least they just dabble in theatrical releases still. So like,
Exactly.
Oh,
that's one
you
of
know
their
what?
motivations.
Iron Mandrill just pointed out. Yeah, Peacock is a thing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Who is it? That's NBC, right? That's Peacock is NBC. Yeah. They're the one that I always kind of forget. Probably because they don't have a lot of what is it? They don't have a lot of programming that I would even care about. I feel like NBC is still stuck in the 90s and like early 2000s sitcom model. Yeah. Where it's like, you know, hey, here's Reba McEntire in a kooky situation. It's like, cool. She's like 100. What's going on? Why am I watching this? But go ahead.
Nobody actually signs up for Peacock. It's just like a bonus you get for signing up for a new phone plan. It's not like an actual thing you can sign up for.
I don't know anybody who pays for Peacock. I've that and Apple TV. I've never heard of anybody actually paying for those.
But Apple TV has Severance though, so I think.
I'm not saying that about Apple TV. I'm not talking about the quality of the content. I'm just saying I've never heard of anybody who pays for it. I feel like that's something that you get a 6-month subscription for buying the latest iPhone, no matter what you're on, you know. And but my reasoning for hoping that Paramount wins is I'm still a fan of the theatrical experience, going to the theater. I'm sure some of you guys, I know Tar is. I know for a fact you are. And I mean, there's some of the contemporaries, some of the other people that, you know, we've all collaborated with and stuff are notorious pirates and probably couldn't give two shits where they get their movies from. But I still prefer. I'm turning green. Look at that. It's all the super chats coming in. But I still prefer going to a theater. I think it adds so much to experience, unless you're right next to like a 4-year-old who won't shut up.
Well, yeah, and everyone talks about like the modern theatrical experience. You know, oh, kids are on their phones and people are talking, and I mean, yeah, I've been to movies where that's happened, but that's not like the majority of the time when you go to the movies.
Yeah,
for me,
I agree with you on that. Like, I've never gotten annoying people. Matter of fact, the last, I think, 7 times I've gone to the cinema.
It's a highly specific number.
Well, yeah, because except for the past 2 where I went to watch Formula 1 in 4D, except for those 2 where the theaters were packed, all the other ones, it was literally just either me and the person I was going with to the cinema. That was it. And sometimes this would be in an IMAX theater, you know, 250.
How'd they do 4D for? I'm just curious. How did they do 4D for that movie? Like, did the seat randomly jump up to 197 miles per hour? Like while you're watching?
Honestly, Formula 1 in 4D was incredible. I went to see it twice because it was so good.
No, but I'm saying, like, how did they, like, because 4D implies that there's something else going on, so it's like 3D.
4D is the seat that moves.
Yeah, well, sometimes 4D is also like they add like water effects and stuff too.
Oh, yeah. There were water effects during the rainy sequences. It was actually really, really well done.
That sucks. I don't think there was. I don't know of any theaters near me that do that. Damn it! These France is getting ahead of us in theaters.
But even if you consider like 4D to be a gimmick, whatever, like we still need that communal theatrical experience.
Oh,
and like
definitely.
And like, you know, I might just sound like a dinosaur the way I'm talking about it. I understand that, but I do think that it could just be inevitable. We are losing it no matter what. And then this merger is just sort of like the sign that things are changing and it's happening. Like I have a pretty decent home theater set up myself, you know, and I love watching movies here, but there's nothing beats going to the movies still, you know?
Oh yeah.
You just, it's good to go somewhere, watch it with other people. and then that's
It's
going
just
away.
the entire process, the entire feeling that you have during the entire process, knowing that you have a movie to go to later in the day, getting ready to go for it. When you arrive, you get the smell of popcorn, you hear people chatting around you, and everyone is there for the same thing at the same time. Everyone reacts during the movie. It's a fun experience because, if you're a very social person, once you leave the theater, you can just start sparking up a conversation with random people, speaking about the movie, and it's
I hate
entertaining.
people. I just
Well,
walk right to my
I
car
hate
and
people
leave.
too.
Oh, dark
But like,
hour.
I'm not even really a social person, but like, I still value, like, just going to the movies, and
I
it's just,
value people getting out of their houses. Like, and this is coming from a
yes,
person who works mostly from home, whether it be for this or my actual job. It it's a killer to not leave your house, and the more we take that ability to go out places to people, it's like first it's this, now it's this one, then next thing you know, it's we who knows what's next that they remove,
Mm.
um but I just want to address this, and we'll get to Max and anybody else who has some stuff left, but this is like right on point what we're saying. Yo, good to, oh sorry, Jacob WD-40 for $5. Yo, good to see Uninspired. And
Yo, Jacob, what's good,
oh,
man?
and y'all too, I guess. I mean, I understand that. So, as for WB, does it really matter who buys them? WB, Paramount, Netflix all make crap. Now, that's kind of what we're talking about here. Is how do I? I like to think that at some point this is all going to recover. It at some point people want to make money. There's just it's just the way the world works, no matter what. You don't make something with intention of it losing you money, um, unless you're like Nikola Tesla or something. But so at some point this will recover, and when it does, I would like us to still have the ability to go and have those experiences in the theater. Like, for what it's worth, even though the movie itself ended up being not as good in hindsight, the I'm sure everybody remembers like the reactions to Endgame and stuff. And you just don't get that. Yeah, you still have those moments in your house with your friends, but if you're in a packed theater and everyone's reacting and at a good time, like not reacting at a shit time where you're trying to pay attention, like the moment, the crescendo moment, there's nothing like that. It's on par with like a sporting event or something. It's a dopamine hit that you can't recreate in your living room.
Well,
no,
and do you
but
think like a big sporting event is going to become something that's rare? Maybe that's the goal. That's why if Netflix gets it, the goal will be for Netflix to have limited theatrical releases in very specific places, so that every time that there's something that goes out in cinemas, it's a theatrical event. So they know that it's guaranteed to make money.
Um, oh, let me highlight this one. From Iron Man Drake, Iron Man Drill Mark again for $1.99. That's a hard one to say because it's the MDM. Uh, was the Saudis potentially buying WB just noise? No, that's anything with them is never just noise. They will drop money. They will drop a huge amount of money on whatever they feel like.
Yeah,
They'll just
they were behind the Paramount. Yeah, they wanted to
yeah.
help Paramount.
Yeah, the Saudis, the Saudi princes, if they see something and they want to pump money into it, they basically are the Saudi princes are single-handedly the reason why submission grappling even has a professional scene, because they were like, we love it and we're just going to pay people even though it doesn't make us money. And that's how that happened. They shipped in jiu-jitsu black belts from all over the world to teach their people. They will just drop dime on things that they love no matter what it is.
So I just wanted to mention that technically the like WB isn't officially sold yet. So basically, what's going on is that they're stuck in a negotiation with Netflix exclusively. So WB and Netflix, they're stuck in that negotiation exclusively. Now, if with the Paramount hostile takeover that's trying to go on, if Paramount actually interests them, and because they have a bigger offer than Netflix, they actually WB would actually have to pay 2.8 billion to Netflix for backing out of their discussion. So in any case, they're gonna lose some money, which is interesting. But yeah, there's still the choice of what WB is going to choose. So whether they want to go to Netflix or whether they want to go to Paramount with a hostile takeover, since Paramount is going directly to the shareholders now.
Yeah, and on top of that, there's not only do they have to decide, then it has to go through all that stuff we were talking about, all the antitrust like all that figuring out, because that might end up being, they could go through all these motions and then it gets to the government and the government's just like, no.
Well, exactly. So this is where the government gets involved, Dark Hour. So basically, the reason why Paramount, it's more in their favor and it's more in WB's favor to sell to Paramount is because the head of Paramount is actually good friends with Trump. And so the reason why is that he would facilitate, I guess, these, the regulatory issues that they would
the
have.
committees, the regulatory committee.
Yeah. Yep. So he would facilitate those issues. He's already come out and said that. So
yeah, that was one of the art. Let me it was the. Let me read it to you. Yeah, Trump will climb aboard. Regulatory expert predicts. Yeah, that deal gets done. So
that's in favor for WB to go to Paramount. It's going to be a much easier transition for them. Whether on Netflix's case, they can go like this can go ahead for about a year or a year and a half, and then they get, fucked up by the regulation, and so nothing goes through. So it's better for WB to lose 2.8 billion, back out, and then go back into what Paramount is offering them, since it's 100% of WB.
Iron Man Drill Mark 44 for $1.99 again. So you're saying that the Saudi world is still on the table? Yeah, I mean, is that the was that the like Saudi world? Was that like the ridiculous what is it, amusement park that they were going to do? Is that what he was like? I remember that was a whole thing. They were going to build like the world's largest roller coasters and stuff. But is that what you're talking about? You don't have to super chat the yes or no if that's what Saudi world is. You could just say yes or no in the chat for that one. But yeah, like I mean, Saudi is always never count out the Saudi oil money. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if that gets made. I mean, they just were like, we want a giant building and we want Tom Cruise to run down that building, like so that it's always getting done with there. So what show? So what I said before. Let's do the like what are the things that we think
the
would
WB
survive a merger?
Well, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but Zack Snyder, the past few weeks before this merger was even announced, he's been posting like hype shit for like Justice League, posting pictures of Henry Cavill as Superman, Ben Affleck Batman. So it's like, do you know something that we don't? Are you like insinuating something? Like maybe that's going to be one of the things is like they're going to reinstall the
don't even tell me that they're gonna restore the Snyderverse. That can't be a thing.
Just the way he's doing it, man. I don't know. So like he's kind of posting the same way he was posting before the Zack Snyder's Justice League was officially
the Snyder
announced.
Cut. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's probably just him being hopeful that his
maybe look, I don't even like those fucking movies, so I'm not like, oh my god, I hope that's the case. I'm just saying that
well, I am with Matt because he does have a contract with Netflix, and also Henry Cavill has already worked with Netflix. Ben Affleck has already worked with Netflix, so every one of them has a good deal. Gal Gadot as well has already worked with Netflix.
Right. So this is Warner Brothers, so now they have access to all of that. So
there's a rabbit hole we could go down if we wanted to. I was arguing with someone about this the other day, about how Zack Snyder's universe was, for all its flaws, made money and was much easier to follow than whatever the hell Gunn is doing right now, because you got the different continuities, you got the Batman universe, the DCU universe, how they're all intermingled, the stuff that he's kept from the old canon, the new stuff. It's a mess. And for all Zack Snyder's flaws, if he was had bumpers on his bowling lane next time around, I think that he has the potential to make something good.
Well, I don't even know if it's going to turn out good or not, but I come from the point of view where, like, I think that hiring Zack Snyder was like their number one problem, but still, that was what they decided to go with, and they should have just let him see it through to the end. And so I'm very much in that camp where it's like, yeah, like I don't like the movies, I don't really like him that much, but I'd prefer them just using that singular vision all the way to the end rather than what they're doing now, which is just like this complete clusterfuck of bullshit.
I mean, that's but it is kind of, I'm glad you brought that up, because I was saying, I'd like to maybe just think about like what might survive, like what would Netflix be interested in terms of IPs, and what would Paramount be interested in terms of IPs? Because Netflix,
Harry
I feel
Potter.
I feel like Netflix would probably get rid of more, but try to do more with the ones they keep, whereas Paramount, I feel like, would just kind of try to keep everything and just would have terrible quality on most of them. So Harry Potter for sure would probably survive both. I think, like, I can't foresee that. Might still be a money making machine. It's possibility. It might not be anymore. Obviously, the DC stuff, which is pretty much the only reason, to my knowledge, that Disney wasn't even in on this, because I don't think they would have even been approved just because of DC existing.
Yeah.
What else does WB have that's worth keeping going?
Well, in terms of
Rings,
Lord of the Rings, WB still, or is that just like I don't even know who has the rights to Lord of the Rings anymore.
I'm pretty sure it still is Warner's. I mean, they used to like not just franchises, but they used to have Christopher Nolan, but they lost him when they pissed him off because of the whole Tenet debacle.
The Game of Thrones properties. Yeah, that's a good point, because that's HBO. I got to remember that HBO is part of this. I keep forgetting that HBO is part of this.
So do they get Warner Music as well?
I would guess. That's huge. I would assume that they would.
I think it's like every Warner Brothers asset they would acquire.
Yeah. So I guess that'd be weird if they had both. If they had, they decided to put Game of Thrones in the, like, that would be a thing Netflix would do. They'd be like, Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings together, finally, the thing nobody asked for.
They'll do a crossover with The Witcher.
Crossover event.
Crossover event. So 3 IPs we can ruin at once. Let's go. They're all kind of similar. Why not? Yeah, I mean, I guess really when it comes to HBO, though, that the backlog catalog for just all of those things is worth so much more to Netflix than it probably is to, because Netflix needs to constantly add to they don't make as much new stuff, which we'll get into their latest stuff in a little bit. Whereas like Paramount they still have a television network as well, so they're so yeah, Netflix. I feel like the back catalog is so much more important to Netflix than it is to Paramount. Paramount is more I think the IPs are more important to them, so they would probably keep more of the things available. I don't know. Anybody else have anything to add to that, or are we just?
Do you think that they're gonna keep the WB logo?
Yeah, I mean, they like Fox. They still have their logo. So
for now,
yeah, but for now they only have, because there's still that huge backlog of stuff that Fox had already produced. That is still being.
Well, released. No, but like anything new, like when you watch Predator Badlands, it doesn't say 20th Century Fox, but it says 20th Century Studios. They just but they want to keep that brand recognition alive. So
a lot of them do that. A lot of them do keep, if they buy out something, they just keep the studio open.
Yes.
Just think about it, like, Pixar still, when Disney bought out Pixar a long time, it's still Pixar to this day. It's not Disney animation, CGI,
and even though they're gonna be whoever ends up the bidding war, they're still gonna, Warner Brothers is still an operation in its own. And like, yeah, they're saying, oh, we're not going to change the day-to-day operations, blah, blah, blah. That could all be bullshit. But there is some truth to that, though. It still is like a machine that's working. And that particular machine does need its own branding. And so I can see that them just, keeping the Warner Brothers thing going.
It's really hard to fold into your existing business model that quickly. you can integrate it over time slowly, but it's not going to happen overnight. Like like you said, just dropping Fox for 20th Century Studios is one thing, but to completely annihilate, just go in there and just be like, now everybody is purely a Disney, employee, and it wouldn't have worked for that, and it won't work for this, because it, one of the things you also have to remember that you're buying when you buy this is the workers' contracts.
Yeah.
If somebody's contracted to that company,
Exactly.
it's easier to leave them on their contract until that runs out over there. And bring them over then. And that could be, who knows, that could be 10, 15 years. Some of these people might be on renewable deals and stuff.
It's all part of the machine. Do you remember back in the day when it said, like, the Warner Brothers logo would come up and it would say an AOL Time Warner company or whatever? Maybe now it'll be Warner Brothers, like a Netflix company. That's how they'll like do alteration to the logo. But
Warner Brothers, an AOL Time Warner company owned by Netflix, and it just keeps going down. It's just like, I don't know if that's eventually what it'll be. It'll just be.
I don't know if I'm just like poisoned by nostalgia when it comes to 20th Century Fox, but these days it seems like anytime I see the Fox Studios logo before a movie, I still get like almost like the flutter as if I'm still alive on the inside. Like where the other studio intros, I see them and I'm just think hateful, like corporate thoughts. For some reason, it could be the snare drum roll. It could be the fact that they own kind of the Alien and Predator side of Disney. When I see the 20th Century Fox logo still, and recently they've done like a lot more kind of like focused independent efforts. Like they did this sci-fi movie, No One Will Save You, and they kind of have been focusing on like yes, genre pictures, but stuff that you could almost imagine 20th Century Fox would have made before they sold their soul. And whether that's construction in and of itself or an illusion that they're trying to put on, it kind of works on me. It's like one of the few intros where I'm not like already gagging when something starts, but that could change at any time.
I think you're right when it comes to there is a degree of nostalgia to that, 20th century lights going, all that stuff. Probably mostly because of the IPs that you associate it with. And same thing, I still think when you see the older Disney version, the not the one where they're going through like the 3D CGI one, the old 2-dimensional one with the star going over it, you kind of get that feeling. Not quite as much. Probably not for. I would assume that that's more just on a gender line kind of thing. But yeah, you can't turn off that kind of nostalgia. It just doesn't go away. The feelings will always be there. It might only be temporary. You might lose it after a few minutes, but you'll always get that little bit.
Fox also arguably probably has the best music for their logo too. The most iconic. They have the 20th Century Fanfare.
They do,
the Alfred Newman music.
They did that. That was one thing they were really good at. They have the best NFL like intro music too. Like if you take like the 6 different NFL intro musics, the Fox one is the one that everybody knows. They hear that, and it's like the other ones are like, that could be any sport. They were really good at that kind of immediate impact on their logos and stuff. So I hope whoever did those kind of things is really was well compensated.
John Williams.
Well, I mean like the I guess that was John Williams who did the intro for that.
I know he does Monday Night Football. That's his music.
Yeah. I did not know that. That's awesome. Nice. Monday Night Football is ABC though, so not Fox. But I did not know that.
But man, Dark Hour. Final word on the merger. That means that if Netflix wins, Netflix has the rights to Scooby Doo, man.
Sweet. Oh shit.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to respond to that. And I love me some Scooby Doo. I guess I know that's really.
I love Scooby Doo. Like there's no tomorrow.
Speaking of things that are getting canceled, I kind of came across this earlier today, and I just wanted to bring it up because I figure that it's kind of an interesting one. Hold on here. It's gonna do my whole thing. I'm going to be big for a second.
Some good news.
Yeah. Nearly half of all LGBTQ plus characters will disappear from TV next season. A GLAAD study finds due to series cancellations, 61% of trans characters will also be absent from TV. We don't need to talk about this for an extended period of time, but I just thought it was. I felt it was a good one to bring up.
Well, I welcome the return to normal people on television shows once again. So, see a representation of normal reality.
It's almost like, I'm trying to think of a good way to put this, because it's like, do you not see? Are you not noticing the lowest common denominator here? Are you not figuring out the problem? What people aren't interested in seeing on their screens?
I mean, they use a picture of Last of Us, for God's sakes, for there you go. Sums everything up.
Not Z3PO as a alphabet person. Fuck GLAAD. I just found that funny that. What? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, I just think it's so incredibly funny that it's like, it wasn't a matter of like a new regime came in, it's more right leaning, they want to get rid of the woke, they're literally just saying like all of the shit that nobody cares about is getting canceled. Second statement, all of that was trans and 60% of it was LGBTQ plus. It's like, well, the numbers just kind of shook out that way. It's
like, it was like, what was it on the last show? On the last show we did, there was all the stuff from. It was the quotes from Leslie Headland, where it was like, yes, if only it was allowed to live for the audience that I was intending to find it. It's like, if you need 2 to 3 seasons for your intended audience to even find your shows and stuff, you either that audience doesn't exist, or it's so small and so insignificant that it wasn't going to matter anyway.
Right.
You know, it is funny that I don't. Oh, go ahead.
If all the like trans and LGBTQ content disappears and the Snyderverse gets restored, it's going to be like the largest win for white men in the history of time.
Just be like, the bigots won. They all won. Yes. I did actually. It is great because I found this particular picture before I found that other one, and they just worked together well. And I want us to debate what the fuck this says. So just give me a second here. And so Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande finally clear the air. We are a non-demi, curious, semi-binary relationship. Okay, I want everybody to try and figure out what the fuck is being said here.
I'm not going to even begin to.
So demi and semi both mean half. Just for one is French and one is.
So does that cancel Latin. Each other out, or does that make it a whole? Since it
doesn't semi mean half and demi mean derived from?
No, demi is half. Yeah,
demi is half in French.
Yeah.
Demi, like, you might be thinking of the old like demigod like style, but demi in this instance is a half. So I'll take a stab at this. So they are not half curious, half one. So half of binary is 2. So therefore half of 2 is 1. So they're a non-half curious 1 relationship. That's what that's
they've cleared the air is what we're saying.
I've cleared the air. So what was that?
I said this needs to be written out like a math equation with like in paren half of it and like variables. It's really just fully a do, right? I mean, these are just like 2 insane people, like trauma bonded over lack of snacks. I don't know. It's whatever this sentence is doesn't work for me.
I'm just glad that we're not going to have to deal with this anymore. So,
I mean, yeah, like I wish Brawler was here, because he loves him some.
He likes some Wicked. Yes, he does.
Has there been a 2-part blockbuster movie that has died off as quickly as that? It went nowhere. Final Reckoning.
Yeah, that's good.
Final Reckoning. Well, I think I don't feel
Yeah,
like
true.
Final
Final Reckoning.
Reckoning was as pumped.
What?
Just to keep it in the
Dude.
spirit
No,
of
I don't
Welcome
think
to.
that. I don't think, but like the studio was trying, like for what was the one before that? It
Dead
was
Reckoning Part 1.
Dead Reckoning. Yeah, Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Part 1.
That got a lot more money pumped into their advertising. I feel like Final Reckoning came and went before anybody even realized it was a thing.
Well, it's
And
because
there was
I
no.
think Dead Reckoning didn't do as well as they thought it was going to do, so they just sort of they lost confidence. You can actually feel them lose confidence when you watch the Final Reckoning because they just felt like they had to like show so many flashbacks, even to like the previous film. Just remember, like they were so scared, and that came across. And I think that they didn't have the confidence for it.
They should
Yeah,
have
and that's
ended
what I'm
at
saying is
Fallout.
I think that Wicked, I mean, there was a lot of product marketing involved with it, and it just died about as fast as it possibly could. And I'm hoping that stops whatever the hell this demi non semi curious binary star system that they're part of from ever being on my screen again. Because I don't actually have a problem with Ariana Grande, other than the fact that realistically, I think she's, and I guess it's both of them. They're really promoting anorexia, which is bad. That's really the thing that's bad about the two of them as an individuals, but together they are just the weirdest fucking people I've ever seen in my life. And maybe we won't see them for a while, but I wanted to bring that up because I don't know where I saw this, but I thought it was
The
one of
way
the
you
funny.
said maybe we won't see them for a
Maybe we won't see
while.
them for a while.
It's as if they're about to
that a
enter a
threat?
spaceship and leave the planet.
They might. They might. Maybe they're friends with what is it? Bezos's wife or whatever. And it's just like they'll all go to space. And,
I'm gonna go with the god Xenu.
I'm not actually sure what my next slide is, so let's find out. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's Stranger Things season 5, which who's watching it? Like who has
I am
checked it
not.
out, whether it be for content creation or interest?
I've seen it.
Okay. I haven't watched the 4th episode yet because I am doing. Oh shit! I wasn't supposed to say that. I am doing a video on it. I was gonna surprise everybody, but that's out the bag. But
Hold it under zero.
now I'm
pressure.
red. Now I'm red. Ooh. I'm actually liking this today. So Tar, you have you watched all 4 episodes?
Oh yeah, I've seen everything.
Go ahead. Why don't you take off with the starter of this then?
It is trash, man. I mean, seriously, dude. Like, it is bad, and it's bad. It's bafflingly bad because you've seen what they're capable of in season 1. You've seen what they're really capable of with with a big cast, as big as the season 5 cast in season 4, and they managed to pull that off really well. And then you see this and you're like, oh man, you even have more time than you had in the last season at the beginning, at this point in the last season, these many episodes in. Because these are like movie length episodes. And nope, they don't do anything. They barely advance any characters, if we can even call them that, because they're mostly just plot devices. 11 is a plot device, Hopper is a plot device, Dustin has a semblance of a character. Steve barely has a character because, well, he's reverted back to his season 1 self, pre season 1 character arc. So we don't even know what's going on over there. And all the other people are just there to move the plot forward instead of actually being people that you care about, which is so bad considering how many people we're supposed to care for in this TV show because they don't want to bother killing off anyone.
So is this like season 3 bad?
Yes.
Yeah,
Shit.
pretty much. I mean, the only reason why I can't necessarily say that yet is because it hasn't finished. That's the only reason why I won't.
Yeah, but dude, the setup in season 4, okay? Let's just talk about season 4 setup compared to
Mhm.
the setup of season 5 already and what they've done. is night and day. I mean, season 5 barely has any setup whatsoever for the second half of what's going to premiere. But season 4 at this point, you already had Chrissy that was dead. You already had a couple of people the Vecna had killed, so like the stakes
they
were
raised
already
the
there,
stakes in the fourth. So that was one of the main complaints a lot of people had in the first 3 seasons. That the stakes were never really all that there because one character would die at the very end, and it was usually someone no one gave a shit about, and the story would tell us as such, like Barb's dead, and it's like we're supposed to care, even though she was in like 2 scenes. Like, who cares? Bob was probably the one people cared the most about his death, and that's only because it was Bob, fucking man. Rudy. It was here. I 100% agree with Tur. Everybody has become, first of all, I feel like the cast is bloated to this point. I look so evil right now. Holy shit. The cast has bloated to this point where now everybody they have a singular goal, whether it be, Winona Ryder's character, Joyce, who, might I add, she is phoning it in so hard.
Oh, yeah.
She talks like this in every scene. She just doesn't seem to care. It's like she took a bunch of Valium right before the shoot, and she's passing out. She just does. Her whole goal is just, I need to protect Will. And then you have, Hopper, who, might I add, is like,
Hopper just wants to fucking die at this point.
Yeah. He's carrying, in terms of acting quality, Harbor is carrying the rest of them on his back, like insane level. Like, he's actually, and I think that might be because, he didn't really get his big break until he was in his like 40s. Like that was with this show.
He's been in so much stuff.
Yeah, but this was really his 90s, like Stranger Things.
He's sort of like a character actor all the way up to this point.
Yeah, Stranger Things is really the thing that kind of put him into the spotlight and made him into a lead. He wasn't just a guy who showed up in certain movies. And I think he's trying to be like, look, don't let me disappear after this, please. I understand that this is garbage. This whole thing is, I'm going to remove this because as much as I like being giant red blobby guy, but
Hopper, like, they have nothing to do with Hopper's character at this point. He literally himself wants to die. I mean, at the beginning of the season 5, he goes to try and sacrifice himself. And then when he opens the door, thinking that he's about to blow himself up, he sees that he doesn't need to because it's not the villain that's in there. And so he basically just comes back and looks at 11, and 11, who thinks that he's dead, just looks at him, and he's there so disappointed. He's like, all right, cool. Like, I couldn't kill myself, not today. It's like, what is this,
So I think the primary issue, first of all, this show has severely outlived its shelf life. That's one of the
10 years at this point. 11.
I'm not even talking necessarily about how long the actual real lifetime. I would say that they maybe had 3 seasons worth out of this show. I think the first season was fine. If they would have left it at that as a mini series in and of itself, that would have been fine. There's in season 2 and 3, those could have probably been combined. You could have taken a few aspects from each, put them together, made probably a decent season 2.
I agree with you on that. Yeah.
It would have still been down from season 1, but I think it would have been passable. Mostly because, I mean, you really had the same villain in both of them anyway. So, and same thing kind of applies to this. Season 4 was significantly up from the previous 2. And this just feels like some of the leftovers from that season that are just kind of they're just trying to draw out into this. I think it's, what are they doing? 8 episodes? Is that what they're into it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. They're just trying to draw this out into an 8 episode, when really, honestly, they probably should have just trimmed if they wanted to leave 4 as a solitary thing, they could have probably trimmed this down to a movie and just finished it off with a movie, which would have been fine.
They should have done that, actually.
My issue with Stranger Things at this point is just that it's really seemingly just like a financial scheme for Netflix. It's like every few years they want to entice people to come back to the platform, to sink their money into it. And what's so shocking about Stranger Things being the catalyst of that is that Stranger Things is inherently a show built on nostalgia. Your nostalgia for the 80s, your nostalgia for Amblin era Spielberg, all of that stuff. Now, Stranger Things is built on the nostalgia for itself. It's built on remember the best parts of Stranger Things, and as a result, every season of the show doesn't offer new lore, doesn't offer enough meat on the bone to spread across the content that they're giving. Instead, it's kind of like The Walking Dead, where it's just meant to kind of keep an entire streaming platform alive because that's their flagship and they don't really want to pivot from it. And they have creatives like the Duffers, who I have no idea why these guys haven't branched off and just dropped the show and done something else. It might be truly a case of like, this is kind of the best these guys can do.
I think so.
And it's like in Ouroboros. It's just the same plot lines playing in circles across every season over and over again. When you say like Winona Ryder isn't really putting like her all into it, she's being made to act the same scene over and over and over again, 100 times over again. Same with David Harbour. His entire character is just protect 11, cook waffles, try to kill yourself. It's like it doesn't. There's not enough material to be spread, and of any show that I can think of that deserves movie length installments, because there's so much content. It's brimming, like, Foundation on Apple TV. There's so much there. Give me an hour and a half episode. I'll chew on that. That's fine. There's nothing here. It's just an hour and a half of the kids are trying to be friends with each other, and friendship's so special. Uma Thurman's daughter is working with Joe Keery at some new location. It's the same thing over and over again. And I can't believe how fervent some people are for this IP as something special on its own when it's just recycled shit every single time. I just don't see the appeal, honestly. And I love X-Files and all this stuff, but it's just...
The nostalgia for itself is actually, it's almost a self-fulfilling prophecy with anything that goes too long. And we've seen it with so many IPs where this one, I think you hit it on the head there, that it was built on nostalgia. Now it is itself nostalgia, but that happens with almost every single IP where they start becoming self-referential.
Mm-hmm.
And
the Matrix.
The Matrix, Star Wars, Star Trek, all of these. Now Game of Thrones is starting to do that with these other ones where now they're that it's like
the Matrix was genuinely the most egregious one with Matrix Resurrections.
They all do it, and it's the problem is, I think there's usually a bigger gap, and which is funny to say because there's such huge gaps between these seasons. But we kind of watched this all naturally unfold as it went along, whereas the other ones were usually like there'd be like a 10-year gap of for Star Wars to reference and stuff. There's always these 10-year gaps and stuff between until Disney bought it. So it was a little harder to notice at first. A lot of people probably rewatch some of the older show for this one, so you're seeing it way more obvious.
Yeah, I think that you nailed it totally on the head, Blues. I think that's like exactly what happened. I'm glad that you also brought Walking Dead up, because like I always compare Stranger Things to Walking Dead in the sense that, and I've said this before, but the biggest problem that both Stranger Things and Walking Dead having, like the biggest problem with them is they got popular. And as soon as they got popular, like it becomes they reference themselves all the time. Everything they just keep doing the same shit over and over, and they lose sight of what it was about in the very beginning. Like you said, Stranger Things was 80s nostalgia, the Amblin era Spielbergian stuff. They just lost sight of that. So the show doesn't even feel like how season one, like season 2 gets a lot of shit. And I understand season 2 has like one of the worst episodes, if not the worst episode.
Is that the one where she goes on and meets the other girl?
Yeah, it's the they them X-Men episode. Fucking trash. But I still do
X them.
I still did like season 2. It felt like a decent like companion to season 1. It's still kind of, with the exception of that shit and like where they went with that.
Well, technically that actually had a payoff in season 5, so that's interesting.
Oh, was yeah. So okay, all right. Well, I don't know anything about that, but it seemed like they kind of retconned all that shit in season 4.
No, like they finally they full head on addressed it in season 5 in the last episode. Yeah.
Oh,
I
Jesus.
didn't watch that one yet, so I don't know, but
Okay. Well, that sucks because I was hoping that like season 4 came out, which in my opinion is a little overrated. But anyways, when I was watching it, I was like, "Fuck yeah!" Because they show all the flashbacks to
Mm-mm.
11 and all that. I'm like, "Yeah, they're retconning the season 2 bullshit."
Same. I was happy as fuck with that
I
too.
was so happy. Yeah, exactly.
But yep,
I mean,
no.
it's just so like generally soulless that the show is kind of hinged upon Vecna now, and you can tell like Netflix wants like Vecna to be this like viral Freddy Krueger-ish character that everybody thinks is so cool. Um,
Yeah, that's
I think
true.
the issue with that is like you just didn't pitch the show with him in mind to begin with. It's so
no.
obviously a
Shoehorned in.
retcon.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, okay, well, the show has mostly been about demigorgons jumping out of portals. That's like the most lore they've added since season 1. Is did you know a demigorgon can jump backwards out of a portal now and upside down from the ceiling out of a portal now? And they added Vecna, and it's like, wow, look at what we've done. It's like I kind of thought the Mind Flayer was cooler and more interesting of a concept, and now we're just kind of traveling towards a Freddy Krueger knockoff. And that opening scene where it's like the CGI spaghetti faced de-aged will creature running from Vecna, and people are on the internet like, oh my god, it was Vecna the whole time. Like it was not.
Yeah.
And
Well, yeah, I
like,
even said so in my I already recorded some of my video, and since that's the first scene, obviously I had to mention it. I was like, yeah, they're just retconning this because it's the only way it can make sense. Because the first
yeah.
season did not account for any of that, like you said. And I actually think they went backwards in terms of not the first season, but like from season 2 on. I feel like Vecna was more of a middle boss. He was like the dragon, so to say, which he would have been the one. And then the overall this giant, ethereal being that doesn't really have a form should have been the final boss. It
That's
just
what it
seemed
seemed
like
like they were going to go with. Yeah.
Yeah. And some people have theorized that that is going to come back around eventually. I have read that people think that the Mind Flayer is going to be the overall baddie once they humanize Vecna and everybody feels bad for him. Then the real villain is going to appear. But it's like it's just too much bait and switching at this point. Like I
Well,
just
and I think you're right. They're banking on him being like their new Freddy Krueger, so I can't see them deviating from what they're trying to do with Vecna. Yeah, like the Vecna. That's why I don't really like season 4 that much, because it's one of those whole he was behind it all along things, and I fucking hate shit like that.
yeah, I don't know where this show is headed to at this point, but I just
well,
can't
this is the end. It's not. It's heading to the end.
It'll head to a Vecna spin-off show.
They need
There is a
they
spin-off
really
show
need to
coming. There's
kill
a
off
Nancy
some.
show.
Oh no!
They
Really?
need
Yeah.
to start killing off a lot of people quickly in this show because there is just nothing for any of them to do.
Dude, they're not going to be killing off anyone. Look, they had the chance to kill off 2 characters at the beginning of this season, and they decided to put them in the hospital instead of just killing them off directly. And it's like, and it's crazy because they don't even use. Look, you see, I'm getting pissed off because I just thought about it. I was like, they don't even use that aspect of having these 2 people, they're affecting like who it affects of having them half dead in hospitals. Like they barely even use that as character motivation, as character. It's such wasted potential. It's crazy comparing that we've seen them do better before with potent material. It's what baffles me so much.
The other thing that's become like hilariously transparent to me about the entire thing, especially this season, is you're pitching that Will kind of was marked from the beginning, that he can see through the Demigorgon's eyes when they're attacking, that he is actually the one who needs to face Vecna because he was marked and now he's developing his powers. That's the fucking plot of Harry Potter, guys. That's the whole fucking plot.
I noticed that too. I noticed
Harry
that
Potter.
there was,
Like,
I noticed the Harry Potter thing.
And like I posted that somewhere, and like somebody was like, "Welcome to storytelling, brother." It's like,
Oh my
dude,
god.
Well, it is
there's
one of those things.
storytelling,
What is
and
it?
then
There's
there's
the
this.
what is the old adage that there's only like 7 original stories and everything is a variation of it or something like that?
Yeah. Well, Stranger Things has done all 7 of them every season for 500 years in a row, and I am not fully bothered by the 8, the 8 or 9 people who are playing, characters 20 years younger than themselves. The only thing that tripped me up in terms of immersion was like Millie Bobby Brown, who is playing a character who is essentially completely lacking vanity, who clearly has lip fillers and plastic surgery. Running around doing karate.
Well, I mean, they did try to account for that in I think it was season 2 where they were like all of a sudden she cared about her appearance, and then they did it again in season 3. So I think they tried to account for that. But the problem is Millie Bobby Brown plays the same character in everything she's in.
Everything.
She has
but
family
my-
issues and has to take on some big evil.
Yeah,
Every
but
single
my
thing
main
she's in.
question is, why does in season 5 she not talk as a normal fucking person? Why does she still speak like 11, where she's like, yes, father, no, I want breakfast? Like, what
I
are you,
want
Arnold? Like, I don't understand.
Yes.
You've been living here as a normal kid for like almost a decade at this point. So why the fuck don't you speak normally? It's so weird.
It's so that you can tell her apart from her acclaimed character from the Monsterverse, whose name I cannot remember.
Well, that's what I was saying. It's like, so she has that character. She has family issues and has to deal with Godzilla
That
and
is
all
the
of
same
that.
character, yeah.
Then Damsel, she has family issues and has to deal with a dragon. Then in this, she has family
Electric
issues and has to deal with all of
Sherlock.
Vecna and shit. And even if you go
Electric
with the
State had
what,
issues with her family, right? Electric State was the same character, same plot. She had issues with her
even with
brother.
what is it? What was the Enola Holmes or whatever the hell it was?
Yeah.
She had she was like an orphan who was able to kick people's ass. So it's like she's the same
Yeah.
character in
I would
everything.
love if they
It's
tried to
crazy.
stop making Millie Bobby Brown happen. And only because Stranger Things is still on, I feel like that's the only reason why we're seeing her at all. I feel like her career is pretty much torched in every other regard.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to have much of a career after this. In my opinion,
I mean, this is just normal for people that do very successful TV shows. You barely see them in any movies afterwards, except for a couple of few. The only person on the Stranger Things cast I would think would be Sadie Sink, where you would actually see her in other films.
yeah, and she's not, and she's literally like dead in this season, just in
Yeah.
a bed. She's
Exactly.
she's in a coma. She's doing the best acting out of all the kids.
Joe Keery, he has his music group, Joe, where it's like it's really really famous.
All of the kids, for the most part, have just, you can tell they're just
And
like,
all of them are just
I've spent
like,
majority of my life on this show, and I just want it to be over.
Yeah, but
I
like
like
none
how-
of them have anything else at this point.
I like how Joe Keery has Joe, and I actually think they are quite good. And then Finn Wolfhard has a big fucking stinks.
No, yeah, they're ass, man. I tried listening to them. I was like, hell no.
It's just funny. Competing bands in that show, I guess.
There was only one thing, I forget who, somebody said it. It might have been you, Dan, that the Duffer Brothers are just kind of stuck doing this. It seems like that's all they have. I wouldn't be shocked if studios are less inclined to take chances on these writing teams that have successful TV shows anymore, ever since what happened with Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's the Benioff situation.
The Benioff situation, because
And also, to an extent, the Russo brothers have floundered in everything they've tried to do.
That is true as well. Yep. Very, very true.
And I wouldn't be shocked if those things are kind of, whether or not it's fair that the Duffer Brothers are having that happen to them. But I just get the sense that really scared off these big studios from trying to poach people from existing things.
Oh, I think that there are still people that look at the quality of things, and they saw with the quality of season 2 and 3 and with half of season 4 that the Duffer Bros could not perform under pressure. That's what I was thinking. Whereas, with season 1, that we know that they had time to write this script. We know that they had time to do what they needed to do. But then after that, when it got successful, they had limited time to write season 2. Then they had limited time to write season 3, then season 4 as well, and then season 5. That's where you can see
Apparently,
the
I was
different
wrong.
quality.
Apparently I was wrong about Enola Holmes. I'm sorry. I kind of vaguely remember it. She had a mother that was just kind of a horrible person, not an orphan. I'm
No.
sorry. I apologize. It was something I think I saw like a little bit of, and maybe I might be confusing it with something else. It's like,
how dare you twist around Enola
yeah.
Holmes, sacred Enola Holmes.
Yeah, that's I'm sorry about that, guys. Let me address a couple of super chats that popped up real quick. I'll go. So I'll save that one for last. That has a debate. Flummoxed Buffoon for 50. I'm just gonna say $50, which is awesome.
Ooh.
Thank you so much for that.
Man.
He calls me Darth Hour. I like it. Hey, Darth Hour, you're a cool dude. I can't agree with that. And one day I'd like to fight you in the dojo of your hometown. Fun fact, I don't actually train in my hometown. So, but right now would probably be the best time to fight me because yesterday my back basically seized up on me mid training session. So,
nice.
It was bad.
You're a seasoned superhero now with back problems.
I mean, it's bad. I have an appointment to get it taken care of, hopefully soon, because it's years. I need surgery. Unfortunately, there's no way around it anymore. It's just 17 years of being twisted up like a pretzel will do that to you. But maybe after that we could fight Flummoxed Buffoon. I've actually, fun fact about me as well, I've never injured a person in all the years of training. I've always been one of the people who's been put with newer people, and I've learned over the years how to not hurt people. So I hurt myself more than I hurt others. But thank you so much for that super chat. Unstar that one. Oh, he has another one. Oh no, he became a purple belt, which is awesome. That means he jumped up of two ranks already. Melvin Deeply, who I want everybody in the chat to wish this guy a happy birthday, even though I think technically it was yesterday officially where he's from. But yeah, it's
Melvin.
He gave me 10 fake monies on his birthday, though. And look at what the cat dragged in. It's the uninspired reviewer.
Hey, Melvin, how you doing?
Review Bomb 85. This isn't a super chat, but something about the Miami Dolphins. I just wanted to tell him that right over there is actually a Dan Marino signed football. You can't quite see it, but it's one of my prized pieces in my collection. And this one actually is a question for the panel before we move on. Is Predator 2 good, bad, great, terrible, or mid? Researching for next project. Glad to see uninspired reviewer back.
Hey, thank you, man.
And that was for $4.99.
Good.
Predator 2 is decent, borderlining on good.
It's immaculate schlock.
No. Wait. He gave us a couple of words specific. He gave us.
It was good, bad. I have to scroll back and hold on. Let me go find it again.
I don't accept any of those descriptors.
What were all the descriptors again? I have to read them again. It was good, bad, great, terrible, or mid. So a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, or a 5, a scale of 1 to 5, basically. I would say, I always say this about Predator 2, that the first half is good. And then once really the point where they kill off Bill Paxton is where it drops off significantly. Something about his, that is like the moment that it loses something. Maybe possibly because it just becomes a giant chase sequence after that, which is really annoying. Because the chase sequences in the first film were very compact. They were like 2 minutes, and then there was something happened. There's the Predator 2 is just an extended chase sequence up buildings, down buildings, in tunnels, and it loses a lot of almost all the characterization because he's not interacting with anybody anymore except for a random woman who's in the bathroom. It's like, so that's kind of where, so like the first half is like a 4, and then like the second half is like a 2. So I guess it balances out to a nice 3.
There are 2 good things about Predator 2, and one is that it's the last movie to feel like a Predator movie, and it's I like how mean-spirited the movie is. That's It's just like a fucked up movie, like these Jamaican drug lords doing coke and shit.
I love that scene.
Yeah.
Voodoo fucking magic, man.
I think Predator 2 is interesting because like it fully recognizes that Predator 1 at its heart is a slasher movie where Arnold plays the final girl, and Predator 2 does what most slasher sequels do. It just changes the location, ups the ante. At least in their mind, they were upping the ante. And clearly it's not as good as the original Predator, but there is a scene in it where the Predator gets on top of a building and raises his arms in the air and gets struck by lightning. I don't know if on purpose or if just coincidental, but that's just the kind of movie that it is, and that's why I love it.
I don't think it's on. I don't think
series pose.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think that he would have done that on purpose. Just considering the fact all of his technology would he probably had to go and retrieve some new gear after that point. It probably got overloaded.
Yeah.
It is a really cool looking scene, though.
Yeah,
if I recall correctly, there was one of the posters had that.
That's the poster image. Yeah,
one of the because that was back when there would be like a bunch of different posters. Now there's pretty much just the one that cycles around, and they'll do like variations and sizes of it.
Great, man. Predator 2 is
I don't know if it's great. I say it's good. I would put it as good.
Okay, I'd say it's good. Okay, I'd say it's good. I'd say it's between Predator 2 and Predators. I might put them on the same level. I may even put Predators slightly above.
I would put Predators below Predator 2 still, but they are close in terms of what's the best sequel.
Did they have a gear porn scene in the first one? Because that's like gear porn is like loading up your weapons and putting them on your body.
But they also had that scene where they're shooting it all into the jungle.
But that is I don't know if that's a gear porn scene though, because
I don't know. I think that can classify as one. And I would say if we do count that one, then I would say Predator 1.
I do like the sequence when Danny Glover is loading up his like shotgun and shit. I do think that's pretty cool.
Are we talking about the Predator's gear? Like, does the Predator have better gear?
Oh yeah,
first or second one.
I think the Predator gear is better in the second one.
Yeah, way better in the second one.
Yeah,
net gun.
Yeah, I guess the minigun sequence is kind of a gear porn scene in a way, but it's so quick. He just takes like the tarp off of it and just does the like whatever the hell that is, like the knuckle crack of the gun. I don't really.
I've always kind of thought that Danny.
If we count the shooting the jungle, that's one of the coolest scenes. But if that's not the scene we're talking about, then I think the loading up of all the weapons in the trunk is cooler.
What were we gonna say, Dan, about Danny Glover?
Just like what a weird protagonist after an Arnold Schwarzenegger.
But he fit it right, because honestly, a dude like Arnold wouldn't have made sense as like a
in the urban.
I disagree with that. I think if Arnold was in the movie, it would have been like top tier. Like it could have been the best one had he come back.
I don't think he would have made sense in the character, is what I'm saying. He was originally supposed to be what Gary Busey's character.
I know, but obviously, yes, that's true. But they lessened the role once it wasn't Arnold. It like what that character became wasn't exactly what they were going with if Schwarzenegger came back. His role.
Here's the thing, though: if Schwarzenegger was in that scene, does his body continue to float like Busey's, or like because Busey, when he gets cut in half, I think he's the only one who could possibly stay floating like.
See, I don't think he would have died. I don't think he would have died. Like I think that,
I have a feeling that was probably the reason why he didn't want to come back. In the comic, it was Dutch's brother. Yeah, I do know that actually, Melvin, that it was Dutch's brother. I forget his name, but I remember that. And but yeah, what I was going to say about Danny Glover though is he fit the role of the
everyday
burnt out. The burnt out cop, because I mean he had already played a character like that for years, so
yeah,
he kind of already had it. And Danny Glover's not a small guy. He's not he's a fairly big. He's just not a cut dude like Arnold. No, he's a big dude.
He's fine and he's a good actor and he's good in the movie. But it's just like what they're saying. Like after Schwarzenegger, it is just kind of a weird choice. I still think overall it does work, but I would much prefer seeing Schwarzenegger come back.
Yeah.
I think had
Max,
Schwarzenegger come back in the second one, it would probably be hailed as, you know, a worthy sequel instead of kind of a little bit of a joke people look at Predator 2 as comparatively, I think.
Hey, it's Waylon Pacephus. It's good to see you, brother.
Yeah,
Ronnie Coleman
Ronnie
was a cop.
Coleman
Yeah,
was a cop. Yeah,
that
holy
is true.
shit. I keep forgetting that. Imagine getting arrested by prime Ronnie Coleman as a cop.
Yeah, just a dude who's like 375 pounds of muscle. Like, what is going on here? Oop, I lost my chat. Let's fix that. Okay, Max, did you give an opinion on the on Predator 2? I wasn't sure if I heard you.
I have not seen Predator 2. I watched Predator 1, and then everyone said the rest of the movies were bad, so I did not even bother to watch them.
2 is
Yeah,
worth
you can
checking out.
Ooh.
2 is not it's not as good as 1, but it definitely is worth at least watching it.
Definitely
Okay.
watch 2, dude.
I will take it. I will check it out.
Don't trust anyone around you who said not to watch 2, dude.
Yeah, 2 rules.
It's
Here
not.
we go.
Basically, what I heard was it peaked at Predator. Nothing else was as good as that, and so I was like, well, if I've already seen the best part, why would I watch it go down?
That is true. It is the best one by far, but there are some cool things in 2 that that make it worth watching. It's super fucking violent. That's also
nice.
It's actually probably more violent than the first one.
It is.
It's way more
yes.
violent, dude.
Yeah.
Because of the,
And they have a scene with a literal porn star getting like where she's like banging this drug lord and then he gets killed like in the middle of it. It's the weirdest. It's such a weird scene.
It's a weird movie, but in a great way.
It's also a movie that like it should be in the dictionary under mean-spirited.
Yes.
In terms of like, if you want to see a movie that's just mean-spirited for no reason, Predator 2 is just like seemed like a bunch of people with a vendetta made it. It's good stuff. It's definitely a midnight movie for sure.
Oh
Yeah, it's worth checking out. So this was a requested topic from multiple people on the panel. As I've said, I'm not a Trekkie, but I will yield to the panel on this one because I feel like there's some strong opinions.
I'm not a Trekkie either. I don't really care about Star Trek, but there's no way you can look at this image and not say "fuck that." You know,
like I actually assembled some similar images from other television shows, so we'll go over those after
CW's Star Trek Starfleet Academy.
So who wants to go first and kind of give their opinions of this garbage?
I did send this to you, Dark Hour. I was one of the culprits who pushed this.
Yeah, go. So you can start. And like I said, I have some other similar adverts for shows in the past that I'll show in a little bit. But I yield the floor to you.
I have a Star Trek tattoo on my back, and
Nerd.
days like today will only reinforce how happy I am to not be able to see it without a mirror. This is like, and
even then, it's spelled backwards, so you're good.
Right. This is like something that I would have a nightmare about. I can't believe it's real, and the idea that this is a Star Trek series with Paul Giamatti as the villain, but this is the poster, is also extremely painful. The dissonance between those two ideas is really hurting me. But yeah, this is like, this is the natural endpoint of all the gayest, wokest, dumbest ideas ever invented. I really, I think that every couple of years with Kurtzman's Star Trek, I've said this is a new low. I don't think legally I can say that anymore, but if I could, this would be the lowest of the low. This image makes me sick.
Well, you can set the bar lower and lower. It's just, if it hits the ground, then you dig a hole and then you put it a little lower. It's, you can do that.
Yeah. So, I mean, as a lifelong Star Trek fan, the most I can say about it is that Star Trek used to be made for the smartest person in the room. It used to be something that scientists would watch and quote and design rockets and name after. And now it is a property for the most emotional person in the room and maybe the dumbest. And It really pains me more than almost any other franchise. I mean, Rings of Power almost reached the level of pain I feel from Kurtzman's Star Trek, but ultimately, like this is my like worst of the worst bottom barrel
I've
situation.
said multiple times in the last 5 years or so, I feel bad for Star Trek fans, for Trekkies. I'm so glad I never was one, because other than
Yeah.
watching a little bit of Next Generation, I never really got into it, and not for no other reason than
Dark Hour, it's also not as mainstream as well, because like me neither. I've always had Star Trek revolve around me, but I've never gotten into it at all. You know, I just don't think that it has that mainstream appeal.
It's not. It wasn't even the mainstream appeal or anything. It's just a part of it. Part of it for me was because I didn't try to get into it till Next Generation. I felt like I was already behind too much, and it was like, little did I know they would just keep going and going and going. But let me put it this way: if I was a person on the fence about watching anything Star Trek, this would push me to the side of not watching it. Just this picture alone. So.
Yeah, I complained about this image over on my page, and somebody posted something that I've seen with a lot of kind of like, Rings of Power shows where basically you're destroying a franchise beyond belief. Somebody said to me, why are you upset? The things that you still love exist, as in like DS9, Next Generation, things like that. And I thought the statement was so crazy. The things that you love still exist. So my response to that was, well, what if I love new Star Trek TV shows and movies that don't suck?
Yeah.
That's my answer to that question. My love is new content in the franchises that I've been following my whole life. It's not just about watching my old tapes of Next Generation. To me, it's like I want to be excited to go to the theater to see a Star Trek movie again. I want to be excited to watch Star Trek and talk about it with other nerds. That's where the excitement is for me at this point of 30 plus years of fandom. So to anybody saying, oh, just go watch DS9, like, yeah, I can do that. But I also want to live in a world where this does not fucking exist.
Yeah, I wish I could add more to this topic. I really, but the only thing I can really add is that I did come across several similar adverts from shows over the years. So let's Max, did you have anything to add to this, or?
Oh no, it just looks terrible, and I have no interest.
Okay. So is these ones right here?
Oh boy.
Yeah. This is
one
right,
of those is Beverly Hills 90210, and I
See that's where that
Is it-
sort of marketing is appropriate,
Yeah.
though.
Don't worry, I have more. Here we go. I think one of these is One Tree Hill. I think
all this checks out so far.
That's the OC on the right. I remember that one. Yeah.
Here we go. This is Friends did it right there.
Is that
And my favorite one, and I think this about sums it up: Desperate Housewives.
This is going to be the Desperate Housewives of Star Trek. Thank God.
Can't
Desperate Trek wives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
decision.
Dude, don't give them any ideas, man. You'll see the next Star Trek show will be about the fleet captains' wives, and their lives.
Desperate fleet wives.
Desperate fleet wives.
As for other things that happened this week, I guess we'll just I could touch on it. So as everybody knows, I'm a fan of the Spartacus series, and I don't have a slide for it, but I'm just going to leave up this Desperate Housewives one because it's bad. It's easier to look at this than the previous ones that we had. But the House of Ashur came out, and if anybody out there is a Spartacus fan, you will notice that the first episode is pretty good, and then it falls off of a goddamn cliff right after that, and it is right into Woketown. It is. When I tell you that this show literally emasculates gladiators, a black lesbian gladiatorette tears a dude's dick off on screen.
Oh my God.
Like, I don't even know how I'm going to edit that for my video. I'm like, it's the whole screen. How can I even use this clip?
Just put it in black and white.
Just put it in.
Why
just
would
put
she
it in
even
right
want
there.
that?
I mean, it's tasteful nudity, right? According to
It's educational.
it's educational. If you pull on a dude's dick hard enough, it will fall off. It will rip off. But
Dark
yeah.
Hour.
So
Did you see the Rotten Tomatoes score and audience score for House of Ashur?
no, I don't even look at Rotten Tomatoes.
What is it?
I didn't.
It's crazy. It's 100% positive on reviews, and it's like a 40% on audience. And
Yeah, that sounds about right.
What it is, and this is explaining a lot of that.
So the first episode it has problems. Like the very first episode, right off the bat, has issues with us not knowing any of the characters, them not taking the time to set it up, but it still has the general feel of Spartacus. And then I'm telling you, like as soon as the first episode comes to an end, they get this slave that's I forget her name. They end up naming her after like the goddess of war or something like that. And the whole next episode is just her like, oh, you're not good enough to be a gladiator. Blah, we're gonna grape you right here and then pull off a dick, and then now you're good enough. Basically, that's the whole plot. It's because she's able to hold off the doctore. A doctore is like their instructor. She's able to hold him off and accidentally scratch him a little bit on the face, so she's a warrior now. And incredible. I just couldn't. I was like, I'm so glad I decided ahead of time. I decided months ago that was going to be a project I was following, and I was like, after the first episode, I was like, oh, maybe I won't have that much. I mean, I could still make fun of all the, the ridiculous, over the top Roman shit. And then the second episode happened, and I was like, I was the black guy behind a tree meme. I was like, and I've never seen a show like, because usually when they hit that woke wall and then fall off the cliff, it's usually way farther. It's usually like episode 5, 6. They didn't even wait
to lure you in.
Yeah, they didn't even wait to lure you in. They were like, here's mediocrely passable bullshit and see you later. And yeah, that was yeah, I don't think I missed any of the topics for the week, did I? Anybody else have something else that they asked me to bring up that I forgot completely? No? Okay. So no. I think that means that it's time for everybody's new favorite segment.
I am the master of the clit. Remember this fucking face. Wherever you see clit, you'll see this fucking face. I am the clit commander.
So we've assembled some of the stupidest and most lacking intelligence and thought comments from various people. This one you might need to read. Let me see if I can zoom in on it. So, oh yeah, okay, good. That way you can actually read the. So these are from Movie Blues. Dan, he's gonna go first.
Yeah, this is from a war that I had over a video that I made where basically was lamenting the state of the MonsterVerse, kind of starting from a place of it was serious and grounded, and Gareth Edwards was at least trying, to now it's a full-blown cartoon. It was not received well by Godzilla fans.
MonsterVerse fans are crazy. Like, you don't understand the point at which, like, they're so defensive of the MonsterVerse.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a million of them on this video. They did end up finding my personal cell phone number and started messaging me all day.
How the fuck did they do that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I made a follow-up video about them harassing me, though. There was like a trans TikToker who said that my thumbnail was offensive, and like it just,
what the fuck?
It really spiraled out of control. But yeah, these are some of the comments that kind of popped up first. But I mean, you're not famous.
That's a solid thumbnail right there.
Kind of a Rorschach test if she got offended by that.
Yeah. So I don't know. Am I reading them, or how does this work?
Yeah, you could go over them, and if you have any context, obviously the context is that it's from your Godzilla. But if you remember, like your responses, or if there was an argument that broke off of any of them, that's
no. I just let it rain down on me on this one. The entire Godzilla fans are destroying you.
I love my favorite one is "You're not famous" with the wrong "you're." Yeah. By the way, for future reference, if somebody does that, just say, "What about my not famous?"
Yeah.
There you go.
And then this one was very based. This one sums up my whole life and my channel. Man cries and pisses himself on video because of people having fun watching movies. Yeah. So, and then I do really enjoy the one in the middle there. I'll give this channel like 5 months, then I'll look like it never existed, and that was from 1 year ago. And I'm still here, bitch.
I mean,
what now?
Yeah, that happens pretty often. So
Monsterverse still sucks.
It does.
I don't hate the Monsterverse, but at the same time, I understand that it's not good. They're not good movies. So
man, it's become so stupid. That's the issue with the Monsterverse.
Yeah, like you said, they became cartoons.
But people are like very scientifically vested in the movies in a way that is disturbing. Like I had hundreds of comments on this video about Godzilla's like plasmatic power levels turning him pink, and that's why it's not a girl thing. It's just like to be so defensive over a children's cartoon is also a weird flex. Like being mad about it, I guess is, but also being mad at the person mad at it is also weird. I don't know.
You actually did it in a way I both appreciate, but it also didn't allow us to drag it out. You gave me one picture with all of them. It didn't allow us to drag out all of the so it's both awesome and terrible at the same time.
Perfect.
Why is it not letting me go to the next one? Come on.
Because you're zoomed in, maybe?
Yes, I guess so. How do I unzoom? God damn it. I'm a
you
boomer.
Do the reverse of what you did to zoom.
Hold on. There we go. Okay. So these ones came from Max. So you want to take it over there?
Yeah. So, excuse me. So for anyone who doesn't know, I make videos about Star Wars. That's what I've been focusing on lately. And I get this type of comment all the time. People who go out of their way to click on my video, watch presumably some portion of it, and then go down and post a comment like this talking about how I'm wasting my time talking about talking about movies that are made up, the irony being that they are wasting their time commenting on it. This particular one, though, is something I wanted to highlight because I wanted to hear y'all's thoughts on it. It says, imagine making a video explaining how something makes no sense in a fictional universe where literally nothing is supposed to make sense because it's fictional. This is probably the worst argument I could think of trying to make when saying I don't agree with your points, because it basically means that there's no standards for fiction. There's nothing that can be good or bad because it's all made up, so who cares? And
I have a clip that I think actually sums up what this entire
go for
it. In a very short bit. This is what this person's trying to say.
Yeah. It's retarded. I'm retarded.
Yeah, it's retarded. I'm retarded. That sounds about right.
These are one of those people that, what I always say to these people are, okay, tell me something that you don't like, because these people like everything.
Yeah.
So they'll never answer as to like what they don't like.
Well, it's true, but it's also they don't actually believe what they're saying. It only applies to something that they don't care about.
Yeah, exactly.
Is when they'll make this argument.
You're attacking their thing. Yeah.
Well, it's also this. There's there's a portion of this that is people are no longer fighting over quality of movies or TV or whatever it may be. They're now fighting over the ideology within them. This aligns with my ideology, and regardless of its quality, I need to defend it because I believe in the thing that the company said or the production team said, the writer said, whatever it may be. And that's generally where this comes from. These kind of comments, they always have no substance to them. They're always oh, you're just angry because reason, and it's all written as fiction, and just leave if you don't want to be here. When most of the time, these are the person that is moved to make a video about why they don't like something probably was there long before the person making the comment. I don't really, growing up, I remember, I'll use Star Wars because that's mostly your thing. I was one of a few kids who liked Star Wars in elementary school and middle school and even high school. There was a few of us, there wasn't, and it wasn't the cultural thing anymore at that point. And then it came back in the 90s and early 2000s. And then, parents kind of brought their kids and sort of brought it back. But there was that weird that like 90s era where, it was just a nerdy thing that nerds watched and you're a nerd for watching it. And now it's like the people who would have said that back then are the ones that now say, well, just because it's not for you anymore. It's like, we didn't like it when you liked it, and now it's been made for us, so we now like it and you're not allowed to like it. That's basically what it is.
Well, and the whole thing that I think they're kind of attacking me for is the video that this was commented on is a video about how Disney ruined hyperspace in Star Wars. So there's kind of this pre-established idea of what hyperspace was from the OT movies through the expanded universe and the prequels.
Mm-hmm.
George kind of got a little loosey-goosey with it in the movies, but you can kind of forgive some of that as like, movie timing, stuff like that. But I go break down in my video. I go, okay, here's all these references of how it was established to work. Here's a map of the galaxy that shows where all these planets are and how long it takes to get blah, 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 blah. And then Disney completely throws that in the trash can. People are teleporting around the galaxy.
I did something similar to that, actually, in one of my early videos. And I just want to highlight what Amelia said here, that fiction doesn't mean nonsensical. There are a lot of people who use the argument that anything can happen in fiction, but it doesn't necessarily mean fiction doesn't mean that there's not established world rules, is exactly what you're saying. There's a set there's set rules that you need to follow. You can't just disregard the rules because now it's convenient. So go forward about what you said about like times and all that.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying there was established rules and then Disney completely, borked them. And that was my whole argument. It wasn't that this doesn't apply to real physics or anything like that. The argument was you established this and then you went back on it. And my example for that was like, if you write a story and tell me that cheese makes you fly, if you eat cheese, it makes you fly. That might be ridiculous. That might sound silly, but as long as every time a character eats cheese, they start floating off the ground, then that's good writing. Like you've consistently followed the rules in your story.
Yeah,
if you say cheese makes you fly and then someone eats cheese and it makes them invisible, you have to explain why it did that different thing than what you established it to do. And so just because it's a fictional universe, like Amelia Bedelia said, it doesn't mean it doesn't still have to make sense within its own established rules.
Yep. And that's it's just a hollow argument. It's an argument that people use when they don't really have, like, these kind of things are what people use when they don't have an argument. So they just essentially they just say that, oh, it's fiction, who cares? And that's never been the case. And if anything can happen in a story at any time, there's no point in telling the story. Then it's just the imagination. It's just imagination at that point. It's just whatever. Okay, all of a sudden now, like you said, cheese makes you invisible. Okay, cool. Now it makes you fly. Now, and then if at any point I could change the rules, there's no reason for me to even codify any of this.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like if nothing matters, if you just say I don't care about it, I can respect that argument. I don't really care about Star Trek. If someone came up to me and, started shouting at me that something in new Star Trek breaks old Star Trek, I'd be like, man, I'm sorry for you, but it's not going to ruin my day. I'm also not going to go out of my way to track down videos of people complaining about Star Trek and tell them to grow up and move on with their lives, because just because it's not something I don't care about doesn't mean it's not worth caring about.
Well, yeah, you're going to be dealing with a whole lot, if you're doing a lot of Star Wars videos on your channel, you're going to be dealing with a whole lot of this because, like you're saying, the sequel trilogy was one of the chief offenders of this concept. I mean, this is like the most textbook franchise to make these violations in their own internal logic. So like, God, there's so many things from those movies, from the Holdo maneuver to everything to do with hyperspace, and
I think the
just the way
hyperspace jumps were actually a more egregious thing. Like the Holdo maneuver has an astronomical amount of not happening. Like the odds are even worse than they say in the movie, but there was still an odds. The hyperspace jumping doesn't make sense because you need to be in lanes, or else they literally say that if you don't get into specific lanes, you will go through planets and end up in stars and shit, because you're just gonna be, and which you can luck out once, maybe do it out of sheer necessity. We don't have time to map, just hit it and hopefully we don't hit something cool. But when you do it like 100 times
here, we might not die if we jump.
Yeah, but if you do it 100 times in a row, you now just took 100 chances you went through something, and the odds could be compound. I think that the hyperspace jumps are actually a far worse offender of screwing that kind of stuff up.
Yeah, it's the hyperspace jumps and also the distances they travel according to what Lucasfilm has decided are the canon locations of the planet. It's basically, in the original trilogy, the kind of general consensus is that the trip from Tatooine to Alderaan took about 2 days to travel on the Falcon, which, as we know, is the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy. It covered about 40,000 light years in 2 days, so you can kind of extrapolate distances and travel times based off of that. In Rise of Skywalker, they explicitly give us a 16-hour time frame, and they fly over 300,000 light years around the galaxy. And so again, someone who doesn't care about Star Wars, some of the people on this panel maybe like, okay, who cares? But when you've established certain things in your story and then you go back and contradict them, it's worthy of critique and it's worthy of pointing out to people who care. And if you don't care, don't comment.
Yeah. That's actually another great point. If you don't give a shit, why are you even commenting? Like what is I've always wondered that, like, what moves a person to, and it's funny because it actually is good when arguments happen in your comments, because it pushes engagement and stuff. So one of the reasons I started the pin of shame, which was Uninspired's idea. And, but yeah, I've always wondered, like, why are you fighting with me? It's like, if you have enough passion for this, go make your own video. Like,
exactly. Yep.
You had a couple others, right? I think you sent me 3 total.
Yeah, this one. So this one is basically, it's kind of along the same lines as just you're making an argument that you don't actually believe in. And this person, it's pretty clear that they're ESL by the way that they wrote. So I'll kind of paraphrase it. It says, one got to wonder why, someone wonders why someone makes a video about this movie, which is The Last Jedi, was what this comment was under, 8 years after the film. Like, don't you have a life at all? What's the point? This makes you sad about the content creator. It's awful. Everyone who liked or disliked the film expressed their opinions and moved on with their lives in 2017. Now, I've seen this sentiment a lot, and my response to this was, all right, buddy, I agree with you. I hate it when people talk about Jurassic Park. Like, come on, man. People expressed their opinions with that movie in 1993 and then moved on with their lives. I hate it when people talk about The Predator, or not The Predator, but Predator. I hate it when, people talk about good movies that are, years old. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic because nobody makes this argument about good movies. If it's a bad movie, they're like, oh, why are you still talking about it? But nobody makes that same argument about good movies, because things are worth talking about that there's no time frame on them. If my video came out the day after the movie came out, it's just as relevant as it is coming out 8 years later.
What I find funniest about this particular comment is clearly this person searched out the terminology that got him to your video. So yes, it's still relevant.
Well, even if he didn't, even if it just popped up on his homepage, he saw it. It was relevant enough to him, either as rage bait or genuine interest for him to click on it. And then to go out of his way to, like, I've watched videos that I wasn't interested in or didn't think were particularly compelling, but I just click away and move on with my life. it makes you wonder about the person who wrote this comment, if they have a life, that they're sitting around commenting on people's stuff that they don't even care about, just to try and, I don't even know.
No, it's validation. It's validation that they're right and you're wrong, and they're hoping that other people will comment and say that they're right. That's basically what it boils down to. And then this last one, go on. I'm sorry.
I was just saying there are two types, as a segue into the next one, of comments that I get. One's like this that I leave up and respond to and try and dunk on, and then the next type that I tend to go ahead and shadow ban that person.
I don't even know how we're going to talk about this one. I think we're just going to leave that up for people to read. Sometimes there's the person in your comments that's just extremely angry for no apparent reason whatsoever. And I think that's this one. This is it's funny because like a lot of people will call this segment of the internet the bigots, where you're racist, but it's like this. I have an immediate guttural reaction to this. Like, no, I would not want this person watching my stuff. Like, go away.
What's the general context here? Like, what movie was this about? Or
there is no context that would make this make sense at all. It was the same video as the other two comments. It was a review of the hyperspace travel in the sequel trilogy, and this guy decided to express his opinions in a very particular way.
So this wasn't.
Are you asking if hold that thought? Are you asking if I saw your comment on something, or are you just referring to the fact that this is a comment that someone might be like that? Did I miss something?
He might be saying that this is his comment. I can confirm it's not. Don't attack him.
Maybe. I don't want to harp on this one too much because this is clearly just a person with serious problems.
Just a crazy person, yeah.
Yeah. I can't even fathom what would make a person think this is okay to type on this. I wasn't sure. Everyone said he's pulling. Like, I don't actually know what he was talking about. I just I'm following multiple things here. Common People is a known kind of troll in the chat, so to say, in a good way though. Okay, so what I think I put up a couple of my own. Oh yeah, this one I actually left this guy's this name up because it sums up everything really. This was on one of my Alien Earth videos. Which is funny because this person almost comes off like they've been following me for a really long time. It's like, don't you always hate on shit and scam people for views and clicks? And I was like, my response was, yes, that is why I am rich. You found my secret. But my favorite thing about this is it's on a free platform. How am I scamming anybody? Scamming requires that I tricked people out of money. It's like views and clicks. You didn't pay anything for this. Also, I've never had a video where my opinion is not one that I truly believe. I've bailed on videos because as I was writing it, I was like, yeah, I actually don't. I realized that where I was going was wrong. I was like, oh no, this is. So I've just bailed on it in the past, but I just did like I did enjoy the name of Marx was right, y'all. So
that's fine.
And what was? Oh, I remember this was also on Alien Earth. I think this was my second Alien Earth video. That's probably where a majority of mine are going to be coming from because that was by far my most commented video of all time, and it was probably those were probably my most divisive ones. This was another one that this turned into a shit storm, like holy, like, but I one of these days I should go and like just screenshot all of the stuff from this one. But it was what the hell? You were telling me I should not like the show, and I am an idiot to like it. I've never said that. I never say that once in my video. This is ridiculous. I hope I hope people realize that you are a hater and learn not to visit your channel. Hate, hate, hate is all I am hearing. Goodbye, never to return. And like my first thing was like, this isn't an airport. You don't have to announce your departure. You could just go. But this turned into a thing where this guy started claiming he was like a science professor, like PhD, but his grammar got increasingly worse as time went on. And it was, every time I mentioned, I was like, I never told you not to like the show. In fact, I always tell people that they're allowed to like bad things. That's one of my goals, is like, just try to understand what's wrong. And I actually went out of my way in the Alien Earth videos, because a lot of people had been accusing me of just shitting on things. And I was like, no, I used those as a way to be like, here's a way you could have improved this scene, and here's this and that. And it's like, nope, it just fell on deaf ears. But do I have another one? Nah, that's it for me for the I'm loving this segment more and more as we go on. But hold on, I'm gonna make us all the same size, because Marx was right, y'all, and equality is right. But yeah, equity. But yeah, it was I'll have to get that whole conversation. There was just insanity in my Alien Earth comments. And I even admitted, because I made a mistake in the video where I mentioned, for years I thought that the aliens, the xenomorphs, were silicone based, and I always thought that was like a way to explain that why they're rubbery. And it was also because of the accent that Ash had. So I just didn't understand what he said. And I guess I headcanoned it, but he was saying silicon based. And there was a whole sequence where he gets electrocuted. And I was like, that wouldn't make sense if he was silicone based. That's rubber. And so the people called me out. So I made a retraction on that. And then I said, but if he's silicon based, why does fire affect them? Because that's one of the most heat resistant elements there is. So it's like, it just opens a whole new can of worms. But well, anyway, so that's pretty much all we have for this week, I would say. Anybody have any parting thoughts they want to let on any of the topics? You can just throw it out there.
I refuse to believe that a person with a PhD could like Alien Earth.
Oh,
exactly. There's no
that
way.
show. I've seen very few shows get exponentially worse with every episode.
Each episode got more retarded.
Yeah. Like usually you start out pretty bad and it just consistently stays pretty bad. That one, it was like, I remember people, like a lot of other reviewers up front, being like, I don't know how I feel. The first episode was okay. And I was like, nah, this ain't going anywhere good anytime soon. And I was so glad I was right about that. But I guess that just leaves us with, and I'm glad Tar is here, because I think you know what's coming up, Tar. Are you ready for it? Are you there? Did you fall asleep? I know it's late for you. Uninspired.
What
the hell happened to him? Hey, uninspired. Where the hell are you? Okay. I guess I'll just do it. I really wanted him to do this. Did he? Wait, hold on. He didn't even say anything in the private chat. That son of a bitch. Okay, I'll just do it myself. It is now time to plug your That is when you are, where we can find you, what you're doing, what your next project is, and pretty much anything else you want to tell us. I will start with we'll just go the order that we have it here. We'll go with Movie Blues Dan.
Plug my shit. Yeah, I am the Movie Blues on YouTube. My channel does occasional crash outs, like in my Alien Earth video, which is kind of how I ended up meeting Dark Hour and following Hard Cuts channels, just bitching about Alien Earth. So I do have some shit takes on there, but most of my content is based around like niche found footage, horror recommendations, and making fun of like very niche, bizarre movies and doing breakdowns of them. My next video, for example, on Friday is going to be me breaking down Dog the Bounty Hunter made a Christian found footage horror movie.
Oh,
So
wait, what the fuck?
Oh wait, Tur's back. Hold on, hold that thought. Tur, can you do a plug your shit for me here?
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to plug your shit.
Okay. There we go. He was always the one who did that. So go on, Dan. I'm sorry that I cut you. I needed him to do that.
Yes, that is a thing that exists. I am covering it on my channel. I've done a lot of videos like that. JWoww from the Jersey Shore did a found footage movie that I broke down and reviewed. It's just like trying to pick some of the weirdest shit. And I also do some of the more like extreme stuff. I have a series of most disturbing documentaries, things like that. I find interesting, more horror-based, niche-based, weird stuff. So if you like what you hear, come on over to my channel. Check out Dog the Bounty Hunter's Christian found footage movie.
That sounds more interesting than it should ever sound.
Yeah, right.
Thank you for coming on. It's
Thank you
fun
for
to
having me.
your first stream. Uninspired, what are you doing nowadays? Do you have anything to plug, or are you just kind of chilling still?
I'm kind of just chilling, to be honest, man. I'll hopefully have a video out before the end of this month, so before the end of the year.
Is
Hopefully
it the infamous never-ending
No,
old boy video?
it is not the old boy video. It's gonna be it's on Ang Lee's Hulk.
Oh, are we ever getting that old boy video? I feel like you've been
Yes.
making that for about 20 years, and
Well, it's because I have to edit it, and it's just long to edit, to be honest.
just don't bother to remove anything, and just say you don't care about the money. Just
No, but it's like it's copyright blocking editing, which is kind of annoying me.
throw a filter over that shit.
the
That's the
worst.
easiest way around it. I'll send you my filter, and then you just filter my filter. You just put a cat face over my filter, and then we'll be good. But yeah, so Ang Lee's Hulk, huh?
Yep.
And what about Ang Lee's Hulk specifically?
Nothing.
You don't have
much.
to tell us the whole video, but like, is it going to be like is it going to be like about the production of it, like how it came
Kinda-
about? Like,
It's kind of gonna be like well, going forward, all of my videos are kind of gonna be like my Dread video,
okay.
whereas I'm gonna do basically character study or like something in depth where I talk about the production as well as the product itself, and so something where I do that, whereas it's longer form and on more general movies that I just appreciate, not on more recent stuff. But yeah. So, I mean, it's probably going to be talking about the themes that it employs in the movie, because there are a few pretty dark themes, honestly, in Ang Lee's Hulk, man. So yeah, the way that it treats it better, it's kind of like what Zack Snyder wished his DCU would have been, you know, because it's like it's the perfect dose of adult content, you know, mature content mixed with the superhero stuff. Whereas sometimes Zack Snyder can try and do that, but it just comes off as childish. So yeah, plus the score by Danny Elfman is very, very, very good.
I'll definitely check that one out, because I you know me, I love a video about a comic book movie, especially one that's from the pre-MCU era.
You should rewatch it, man. It's actually a gem.
I don't know. I just remember the Hulk dogs. I just remember those things.
Yep. Yeah,
and the fact that he looks like a roided out Gumby.
The color, the color grading was off on his color for sure. They made him too dark of a green. I think it was mostly because of the background comparison.
Dude, you have to watch the 4K, man. The 4K is really good.
I'll take your word for it. I'm not spending money on a 4K version if I can't find it on something. If it's
you can find it online. The 4K version is really good.
Nice. So Uninspired Reviewer is still retired, but still making videos. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, man. Basically, that's kind of how it is. But thank you for having me on, man. It's a pleasure.
I mean, once again, you don't even need to really ask. Just be like, going forward, just be like, hey, I'm on today, and I'll just let you on. It's how it works.
It's noted, man. It's noted.
I guess we'll just stick with the order. Matt, what do you and Bobby have coming up?
Yeah, so we just recorded our it's the 10-year anniversary of The Force Awakens. So we just did our sort of introspective review, start reviewing the Star Wars sequels. Yay. So took a walk down memory lane and watched it and reviewed it.
Nobody cares about that movie anymore, and anybody who had
Here,
it happened in 2017 or whatever, or
Jim.
was that 2015, and no one cares anymore.
Yeah, so we did that, and then we just we're going to be releasing our we just started a Patreon a little over a month ago, and we're releasing our next Patreon video as well. So I recommend checking that out. We just reviewed. Oh God, what did we do? I can't even think right now. We just I can't even think right now. My mind is like fried.
I'm
But yeah,
jealous
check
of the
out.
fact you guys have, that you're like a pair, so you get to like kind of come up with ideas independently and then just converge on them. It's like,
Well, it's nice because you can kind of tag team the edits, which is good.
yeah,
Because our edits can be, yeah.
editing is one of the it's just so time consuming. It
It
really
is, and it's my favorite aspect in the process. But when you've got like another job, like it sucks.
Yeah.
So
or in my case, it's like my computer can only handle so much. I need to get a new one. I started like a GoFundMe, like just in case people wanted to like pay
for
for
a new
something
computer.
directly. Yeah, this one's let me put it this way. I built this computer and I built this it's it's not a laptop, this is a full-on tower and stuff. I built this back in like 2014. But I built it so advanced for the time that it's fine. It's like it did fine for the last few years, but it's officially no longer. It's all outdated now. So
Matt, you reviewed Keeper. That was, I think, your last.
Oh no. Our Patreon, our next Patreon video. I just remembered it. It's Outland. So, yeah. If you guys are interested in checking out our Patreon, it's the review that's going to be on there is Outland. But yeah, we did do our Keeper review, and that was fun. We had our first guest in studio on for that, which was fun. So a guy named Baby Arms makes good videos. Check out his stuff as well. And then in terms of what's coming up, not that many movies this month. We've got Avatar though, so that's going to be our next current release.
I have 2 projects going on, so I'm not sure about Avatar. Plus, I didn't even see the second Avatar, so I'd have to watch the second one to even do the third one. So I'm not, depending on how my other 2 projects are going, I may take a stab at it. Max, once again, I would like to thank Max. Everyone know that he helped with that intro video, and floor is yours if you want to pitch your next. Plug your next video.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on. This was a blast to hang out with y'all. I am currently working on part 2 of a breakdown of all the Dave Filoni episodes of the Clone Wars. So it's basically a look, like a deep dive into his career in Star Wars, but not just as like the executive producer, but ones that he actually took control over and said, hey, I want to direct this episode. I want to write this episode. There are 18 episodes in Clone Wars, so it's a 6-part series. I'm doing 3 episodes at a time. I released part 1 back in June. Part 2 I'm working on now. Basically just trying to figure out, what does he think about Star Wars Galaxy beyond just Ahsoka and him wanting to do things to Ahsoka. And so working on that, and it's been interesting seeing kind of his evolution from, the Clone Wars movie was his first time ever directing a movie, his first time doing anything with Star Wars, and then he got the TV show, and he's kind of just climbed the ranks from there. And so look forward to that coming out hopefully by the end of the year, if not early January. It's a long boy. Go check out my Boba Fett video featuring the great and powerful Dark Hour himself. He gives a little eulogy for our boy Boba Fett.
To this day, the fact that you did the chair sound, I loved it. That made me laugh harder than anything else that I've ever been involved with. Because
let's not give any context. Let people go see.
Yeah, there's a chair involved. That's all you need to know, and then you go forward with that. And I just remember when I was recording that, I sat down because you know what's the worst part was when you first asked me to do it, I typed out this whole thing, and it was like it was similar to what ended up being the final product. And then I don't know what happened. The Google Doc didn't save and I lost it all. And I was like, no, that was so good. And then it took me like a month to kind of like get over the fact that it disappeared, and I rewrote it. And I was like, I think it actually came out better the second time.
So. Yeah, it turned out great. And I mean, you had a year to do it because of a bunch of YouTube shenanigans that happened to my first
channel. At one point I just thought you kind of just gave up. I was just like, okay, maybe he's not doing it after all.
Yeah, no, I eventually got around to it. But yeah, I talk about writing and world building and stuff like that. And I use Star Wars to kind of frame those discussions. So it's not just Star Wars reviews, but it's writing reviews. And eventually I'm going to branch out beyond the galaxy far, far away. But that's what I got right now. And if you are interested in that kind of stuff and want to come hang out, we got lots of fun videos there already. Lots of fun stuff on the way.
That's good. So check out his channel. As for me, I have a few projects coming out. The first one that's going to be released, the hopefully by around the end of a little bit after the end of next week, or sorry, the end of this week. So like maybe Monday, Tuesday, that's what I'm aiming for of next week. My House of Ashur video, first one, and then we'll go from there. But like I said, I'm working on 2 projects during the holiday season, which always sucks. Because if you don't time your release right, it just gets buried. I've had that problem before with holiday releases. And we'll be back here so what's today's 9th, so what's that, the 23rd, so Festivus, yes. And we'll probably do some sort of little less about the current, maybe a little bit more of a retrospective on the year kind of thing, because that'll be our last show of the year, and maybe a little bit of a projection for the future, like next year, what we're looking forward to and all that. So it'll be kind of our end of the year sum up stream. But that just leaves me to thank my guests, Dan, Felix, I'll go with that since it's
a pleasure.
Matt and Max, and thanks to the chat. You were on fire today. Actually had we topped out pretty. This stream is slowly coming along. People are learning more about it, and our numbers have been going up steady, which is good. And a big thanks to anybody who sent in a super chat. It really, honestly, I would do this for free, but with the fact that people are willing to support the channel, I try to put every dollar I get from it back into the channel as best I can. Obviously, sometimes, you just have a bill you got to pay. But usually if I get super chats, I try to do something for the channel with it. So just know that it doesn't go to like a Coke habit or anything like that. That being said, it is time for us to head out. Thank you, everybody, and have a good night.
Bye.